We moved to Vermont from Maryland in 2013, just before winter, and we decided to have an energy audit because we knew we were going to be using oil. It's expensive, so we wanted to try to tighten up the house as much as possible.
I retired a couple of years ago from the States. I was thinking about fixed income and increasing cost of energy, especially since we heat with oil. So I wanted to do everything possible about that, and I thought beginning with the building envelope made the most sense.
Well, we had two aging furnaces, an oil furnace and a wood furnace that we knew needed to be replaced. And we talked to several friends who had advised us to get an energy audit and have the house insulated and go from there.
My folks in Brookfield had their house weatherized and had an energy audit and determined that there was quite a bit of air leakage there. And I just knew that a couple other folks that had good success with the weatherization.
It was drafty and cold in spots, too warm in others.
You know, there was always a draft. It didn't matter if the wind was blowing or not. You know, you could feel a lot of air movement in the house. We knew that we were basically heating the town of Randolph.
Drafty. I mean, we're always putting blankets or something, or, you know, draft things at the bottom of the doors, and making sure the doors to the upstairs were always closed so that the heat would stay downstairs and things like that. I found them very conscientious of our being there most of the time while we were there, and not being in the way.
You know, I can't praise them enough. They were very professional, friendly crew, very cooperative.
It was an absolute pleasure having them here for 2 days. And they were also very respectful of our home, making sure that they weren't tracking in a lot of stuff and cleaning up as best as they could, given that the process itself is on the messy side when you're blowing in insulation. They did a fantastic job.
They even did a couple of things that weren't part of the initial audit, that weren't part of the scope of work. They went above and beyond and did a couple of extra things for me.
We didn't have the drafty spots anymore. Everything was tightened up so well. And the best part for us, we saved $1,300 off of our oil bill.
The day after we had that work done, I think it was November when we did the air sealing. We felt it immediately.
We noticed a difference immediately with the weatherization. The house kept the warmth better. The furnace came on less.
We would definitely recommend that people weatherize their homes, starting with an energy audit. It just makes sense.
For people who are deciding whether to do it or not, if they can possibly afford it, I would say consider the long-term implications. If you're planning on being in your home for a long time, I would highly recommend that you seriously consider the decision to go forward.
For us, this was an absolute no-brainer. You know, we figured with the fuel that we saved and then that added comfort of being in the house, we were realizing a return on that investment in 3 years.
You know, I regret that we didn't do it sooner and have the benefits for it, but I think it adds value to the property in the long run, especially with what we're facing with the different cost of energy. But also it's just, again, the right thing to do. I would encourage people to do it.